Yair Parshat Vayishlach, the Limud Shebile Refuah Tanya Bat Hoda Margalit, Lea Bat Metel, Yosef Yair Ben Aviv Chava, Rav Sivan Ben Sima Betoch Kol Shach Chol Yisrael. We have the zchut for Adiel to join us for the shiur, coloring with us, so we should be zoche. In 1 week, we'll be entering into Hanukkah, and it's a chag that has so many secrets, so many elements. So this week I want to just focus on 2 of them. The first element of Hanukkah is the timing, where the majority of the other chagim were also at night and also in the day experiencing the main mitzvah. On Hanukkah, the main mitzvah of lighting the candles is experienced specifically at night. And therefore we have to enter into the concept and the symbolism of what night is all about. But the second thing that's unique only for Hanukkah is that we enter a certain space of height that we really don't enter in any other place in halacha. And so to explain these 2 questions, we'll start from the first, go to the second, and connect them together to one idea. The first concept of Hanukkah is that we light at night, and not only do we light at night, but also when we look outside, it's that timing of year where the nights are the longest. We know that also it's at the end of the month, so the moon is really small, and if you're ever outside in the darkness, in a real place without any night lights, you'll feel that when the moon is small, the darkness is much stronger. And so therefore we're really confronting, we're really entering, we're really analyzing how to deal with this issue of night. And so in order to deal with the issue of night, there are 2 psukim in the Torah that we want to try and understand. The first pasuk is Vayihi Erev, Vayihi Boker. Those 4 words are the common theme of Perek Aleph at the end of each day of creation. It's important to specify these 4 words, Vayihi Erev, Vayihi Boker. But looking into these 4 words, it's very clear that Hashem makes a distinction between 2 times of day. The first time of day is Vayihi Erev, and the second time of day is Vayihi Boker. But if we look at these 2 times, they're very different. If any of us are right now in a place with light, then we're able to see. And if you're able to see, your abilities are expanded. The day is the time of accomplishment, the time of bliss. And in many places in Navi, they compare the day to the day of redemption. And we know that there's this idea of Vatikan, Somech Geula L'Tfilah, that we should see sunrise as the beginning of redemption. And so therefore the day is where things are positive. But the night is the time of disability. It's the time where if you were able to read, you can't read anymore. If you were able to see many options, you can't see them anymore. And therefore you're limited and you're confronted with obstacle. But here's the question for Hashem. If you're going to create 2 times, I would expect to begin with positivity. All of us know that when we start new things, if it's our first date, if it's our first day of work, we're not going to walk in and tell all the negative things. We're going to walk in and speak about positive accomplishments. When we go to an interview, we speak about what we've done, where we've gotten to, how great we are, how successful we are. So we look at Hashem and He's presenting to us a world. And He says to me, here's my message. Vayihi Erev. Hashem doesn't start with Vayihi Boker. He doesn't start with success and with redemption. He begins time with absence. He begins time with obstacle. He begins time in the areas where you're confronted with what you're scared of. And so Hashem presents night as the opening and not the conclusion. It's not a result, rather a mission. It's not because you did something wrong. Hashem said, I'm punishing you and giving you night. Hashem's teaching us that the night for us is the beginning as a present and not a punishment. It's not because we did something wrong, rather because it's our greatest opportunity. And so therefore, when we enter into the realm of night, we have to realize that night is not absence, but its defining character. When we enter into the times of day, it's not hard. All you need is what's outside of you. And therefore, you're limited to the success of outside. But at night, all you have is you. At night, you have no one else and nothing else. And therefore, your greatness is your accomplishment and no one else. And in a simple sentence, the greatest people are the ones who are great in moments when things aren't that great. And that's Hashem's first present. He gives us the night, and He says this is the time that will define you. Do you see the challenge and wait for it to pass? Or do you see the challenge, embrace it, learn from it, create through it, and learn of the opportunity that's hidden within the night? Another pasuk that we have to realize in order to understand night is not only a pasuk, maybe a word. If we start counting the words of the Torah, we'll see that the 25th word of the Torah is the word or. And we know that Hanukkah is on the 25th day of Kislev. And so a lot of the commentaries make a link between the light of Hanukkah and the date of Hanukkah on the 25th day of Kislev. But the question is, what does this appearance mean? And if we look in creation, we'll see that there are two types of light. On the fourth day, Hashem creates the sun, a light that enables external knowledge. But the big question is, on the first day of creation, what was there to look at? There were no animals, there was no grass, there were no trees, there were no people. What do we need the light for? The light was not informing you of anything because there was nothing. And therefore it was light for the sake of light. It was light that came and taught you that there's a different type of vision. There's a vision that I know what's outside. I look around in the day and I can see X, Y, Z. I can see this person, I can see that person. But there's a different type of light, which is the 25th word of the Torah. It's not a light of knowing what there is, but it's light for the sake of light. It's so interesting that on Hanukkah, when we think about our Hanukkah candles, the halacha teaches, Lir otam bilvad. You're not allowed to use the light to learn. You can't even learn Torah from it. You can't count money, all the different stuff. It's not light of accomplishments. It's not light of success. It's not light of more knowledge. It's very simple light that comes and educates. That sometimes the greatest light in the world is inner light. And the idea of the lights of Hanukkah and the 25th word of the Torah, or, is that they're coming to reveal, don't be a person that can only visualize what there is. Don't be a person that's defining life as the images that you see. And in other words, it could be called cynicism. What there is what there is, and that's it. Comes the 25th word of the Torah and says, there is light that is not showing you what there is. It's showing you what you want. It's analyzing, is there something within, or is there only something that you have outside? And therefore, to summarize the concept of night, there might not be external light. And therefore, you must create an inner light, or in other words, don't wait for light. Rather, be light. And so if we go to the second point, on Hanukkah, there's a specific area where we're supposed to light our Hanukkah candles. And so in Siman Taf Reish Ayin Aleph, in the Shulchan Aruch, Siman Vav, it says, Mitzvah lahanicho lemata ma'asarat fachim. The real lechatchila mitzvah is to light our Hanukkah candles underneath 10 tefachim. And you look at this halacha and you say, why? Why in the world would you be lighting your Hanukkah candles 10 tefachim? 10 tefachim is maybe 1.5 feet. 1.5 feet. Your mamash sitting on the floor, lighting your Hanukkah candles. Stand up tall. Say to the world, here I am. I'm lighting my Hanukkah candles. What are you lying on the floor? And I know that when I lived in the old city and I would light the Hanukkah candles, every person that passed by could not understand, why are you lighting your Hanukkah candles so close to the floor? Stand up, light your light. Why are you so close to the ground? There's another mitzvah which is called sukkah. And there you're not allowed to have a sukkah under 10 tefachim. And the Gemara in Masechet Sukkah Daf Daled Amud Bet says, why could a sukkah not be under 10 tefachim? And it says very clearly, under 10 tefachim, lo yarda shchina me'olam. Hashem is everywhere, like we know the song, but He's not under 10 tefachim. There's an area in the world which is called Haaretz Natan Li Bnei Adam, where Hashem says, I don't want to be under 10 tefachim. I want to leave that area to be an area where you must decide, are you afraid to confront the challenge alone? Do you need me to hold your hands? Or can you run forward? On Sukkot, you're not allowed to go under 10 tefachim because we're searching for Hashem. But in Hanukkah, we're searching for you. And if we're searching for you, then light it under 10 tefachim because no one's there. And no one really cares. That's not the ultimate, that's not the high, that's not the image, that's not the success. Underneath 10 tefachim is where you must be honest. There's only real. There's no image. We connect the two ideas together. We light the Hanukkah candles specifically at night to realize that true light is people that don't wait, but that they realize that night is an opportunity to become light. That they look into the darkness that's outside. They look into the challenges that the Jewish people were being confronted with. And they're excited. They're sitting in a university deep in Michigan, covered in 5 feet of snow. They're sitting in the Technion in Haifa, covered with 50,000 books. Or they're sitting deep, deep, deep in the old city, yearning for Yerushalayim. But where you are doesn't matter. Sometimes what matters is who you are. And therefore the night is saying, are you that 25th word of the Torah? Are you realizing that there are certain areas where you're afraid of? And on Hanukkah you have to say, I'm not afraid. I just had the zchut to watch a basketball game. And the height of our team was an average of 5'7". And the height of the other team was an average height of 6'11". And you look at the game and you say to yourself, what's the goal? And the goal is to rebound. A rebound means I will not let go. I'm not scoring points. I don't care about how great I am. I want to hold on. I don't know what the score of the game is at the end, but I know that I saw some of the guys catch rebounds, fight for rebounds. Sometimes the night is when the world is so difficult. You're confronted with a huge challenge. But can you catch the rebound? Can you stand tall? Can you realize that who you are sometimes is davka in those times of under 10 tefachim, where Hashem says, you hold on, or the boat will just go away. You light the fire, where the darkness will never end. Shabbat Shalom.